friends. Hello, family. Hello, Newman.
Hello, boys. Ow!
Like the old song goes, a name that kept popping up in the comments of the unfinished business list and live stream I recently did was
Devcon, the Bounty Hunter.
one of the few Autobots whose mere name could strike fear in the hearts of Decepticons.
Who speaks to me?
You can call me Mike, and this is a spotlight on you.
Great Cybertron!
Yeah, man, you seem like a pretty cool character who doesn't get much attention.
Thank you!
My pleasure. Devcon debuted in the 47th episode of the original Transformers animated series on November 11th, 1985, in the episode titled The Gambler, written by Michael Charles Hill. Although it's not officially a two-parter, The Gambler actually picks up immediately after the previous episode, Child's Play. And any 80s animation fan will tell you that's rare for episodes to have direct continuity from one to the next, due to a lot of them being aired out of order in syndication. Even though it's a Season 2 episode, it's very similar to a lot of the Season 3 episodes, which take place 20 years into the future, and many of them being space adventures with strange new alien races. At the beginning of the episode, the Autobots are on their way home to Earth in the toy rocket ship from the previous episode. And much like when they try interstellar space travel with Omega Supreme, they run into mechanical issues.
Well, that's odd. We've totally lost our mobile drive.
Turns out they've been captured by an alien race, led by a guy named Bosch,
I am Bosch, the captain of this freighter.
who incapacitates the Autobots and intends to sell them as slaves. Luckily, Smokescreen's container malfunctions, and we get a Smokescreen episode. Yep, even though this is Devcon's first and only appearance ever in animation, he's actually just a supporting character for Smokescreen, who's the featured bot this time around. Smokescreen agrees to help Bosch win a bunch of dough at a nearby gambling asteroid in exchange for his friend's freedom, since Smokescreen has the magic touch with the slots.
It's all in the wrist.
So if you had to guess, how long do you think it takes Devcon to show up in this episode? Would you say 5 minutes in? Try almost 10 into a 22-minute episode. He truly is the Boba Fett of Transformers. Very limited screen time, but he's made a lasting impression. Astrotrain lands on the asteroid and deploys Dirge and Ramjet, and we get our introduction to Devcon.
Starlog 26 have followed the Decepticons to Monicus. Will continue surveillance and monitor all activities.
He's voiced by the late, great John Stevenson, and if that gravelly voice sounds familiar, you've probably heard him as Mr. Slate on the Flintstones.
Flintstone, you're fired! You're fired!
General Flag on G.I. Joe,
You're way ahead of me, as usual.
and a whole slew of other characters on Transformers. Cup,
Hear me loud and clear, Chaos! You're over and out!
Windcharger,
We'll let you play kick the can with what's left of Megatron and his merry machines.
Huffer,
Maybe I can help Optimus save some of his strength on the way back.
Thundercracker,
You lie, Starscream!
Alpha Trion,
An educated guess, Prime.
and Botch in this same episode.
Devcon!
He's noticed by Smokescreen in the bar after saving Slizardo. Well, I think his name describes him perfectly, actually. Slizardo. And Smokey notices the Autobot insignia on his chest.
He wears the symbol of the Autobots. Perhaps he can help us.
He formally introduces himself and fills Smokescreen in on what he's been up to.
My name is Devcon. I left my home planet of Cybertron millions of years ago during the Great War.
Having him leave Cybertron around the same time as Optimus and his crew does give him a bit of kinship to the original 18 Autobots. More so than guys like Smokescreen, Inferno, and Ultra Magnus who stuck around Cybertron and continued to fight all those years. It's almost like a what if. What if the Ark hadn't crashed? We get a glimpse of it in Devcon. Slizardo is incredibly grateful for being saved.
What is this creature mumbling about?
A little too grateful, actually. And we get a moment. Is it a tease that Devcon isn't all about what that insignia on his chest represents?
Forget it. Go on, forget it!
I didn't remember much about this episode, but upon rewatching it, I thought that was foreshadowing him being a major D-bag, being so rough on the little fella. Time will tell. Devcon shares his affinity for justice.
I am a bounty hunter searching for Decepticons who must be brought to justice.
What is it with big blue guys obsessed with justice?
Honk if you love justice!
And let Smokescreen know who his latest bounty is.
Astro Train, Dirge, and Ramjet. Have you seen them?
Now this is cool, that he knows the Decepticons by name. They're not just random evildoers that he has to bring to justice because of the symbol they wear. The 3 Decepticons are Year 2 Transformers, who we assume stayed behind on Cybertron after the Ark left. So that opens up a whole potential backstory between Devcon and the 85 Decepticons, which is nice since none of the 85 Decepticons had any history with anyone really. They just showed up as new foot soldiers for Megatron in Season 2. We get to see Devcon in action when Smokescreen comes under attack by Dirge and Ramjet. Using a weapon that's unique for an Autobot, an arm-mounted cannon.
Ramjet, we're hit!
Similar to the Seeker Jets like Starscream or Megatron's fusion cannon. He also shows his immense strength by turning a car over like the Incredible Hulk. Smokescreen rolls out and Devcon follows, running behind him on a show called... For some reason, he doesn't transform.
Transform!
Transform!
Transform! You can do it! I know you can do it! You can do it!
Transform!
But after a firefight and the Decepticons blast off, he finally does transform into his alt mode, an interstellar spaceship. I guess that explains why he didn't transform earlier. Not exactly a short-distance vehicle for inner-city travel. The whole ending feels very rushed, almost like it was supposed to lead into another episode, maybe making it an unofficial trilogy.
I can't let them escape.
While the Autobots have gotten used to the Decepticons escaping, Devcon is in hot pursuit.
The Decepticons must be stopped at all costs.
Who does that remind you of?
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
It would have been nice to see him again as a regular member of the Earth Autobots.
That was quite an impressive display of firepower back there. We could use somebody like you back on Earth.
But Devcon felt like Earth was in capable hands.
I must leave the protection of Earth to you and your comrades.
He offers a spot on his crew to Slizardo, showing there were in fact no hard feelings.
Slizardo, I invite you to join me as my partner!
Making them the Transformers equivalent of the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. That's it for his animated appearance, but he did get some life in print. He's a member of the Wreckers in the Wings universe. We get a follow-up to the Gambler episode in the Legends comic, where he meets up with Smokescreen once again, this time in the year 2039. Was throwing Slizardo on the ground a hint of things to come? It was in this comic, where Devcon has experienced a breakdown, and he's turned against the Autobots and teamed up with the Decepticon. In 3H Comics, he's a major D-bag. He actually threw Slizardo out the airlock, although we eventually did learn that he at least gave him a spacesuit. But still, poor little guy. And blinkin' you missed him in the Generation 1 comic from Dreamwave. He popped up in some Creo manga, and finally in Beast Wars Uprising, my favorite continuation of his lore, where he becomes a headmaster with Slizardo, and picked up right where he left off, bounty hunting for big blue justice. No breakdown, no fall, no betrayal, no deconstructing of a pretty cool character who had a lot of potential. He's just a cool bounty hunter. So the big question is Devcon unfinished business when it comes to toys? And the answer is no. Well, yes. Sort of. There have been official Devcon toys made.
Where are they now?
eBay. They weren't widely released, unfortunately. There was a vote at BotCon 2001 for which exclusive would be produced the following year, and one of the options was a repaint of Viacon Mirage as Devcon. The idea for a Devcon exclusive was pitched at the 2005 official Transformers Collectors Convention, and this one got a little closer, being a repaint of Energon Slugslinger with a new tune-accurate head, but never came to pass. And finally, at BotCon 2014, Generation Scourge was repainted as a convention-exclusive Devcon, as part of the Pirates vs. Knights box set. Funny, I was just thinking the head was kind of Scourge-like with a gun on top of it. Doesn't look much like him, but the color's right. He's got an arm cannon, turns into a ship. They did the best they could with what they had to work with. And there he is, an actual official toy of Devcon.
A little antiquated perhaps, but fascinating nonetheless.
Congrats to everyone who owns this elusive bounty hunter.
Let's get out of here before he comes back to finish us off.
And I'm out of here too. Hope you enjoyed this look back at one of the most obscure original Transformers. Let's hope he never gets demystified with a prequel movie or his own TV series. Would a widely released Devcon toy be nice? Sure. But I personally hope he never gets Boba'd. Some things are better left mythic. Thanks for watching. Till all are fun.